Okay. I would bring the meeting to order. I don't see any public so available, so I don't know if we have any public input. So moving on to that, approval of the minutes from the last meeting, October 7th meeting. Anybody have any changes or suggestions or questions or about the minutes?
No, motion to accept.
Motion made. Karen, you okay with it?
I'm okay. I wasn't there, so I don't know if I should say
No.
anything, but
Well, I'll second it then, and all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Both abstentions, so moved. Okay. Moving on. The school's solar projects are complete. They're up and generating power, running, connected. They have approval from the utility, so they're all ongoing.
When did they go live?
Huh?
When did it go live?
Well, the track and field was like 2 months ago and the others about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So we're all there.
Good.
Interesting was at a Board of Selectmen meeting last night. And yeah, a question came up about recharging station. And so I said, there are out there and whatever. And there's also companies that will install them and maintain them and, just sell the power and stuff. So there's an interest in that. But we can move that to a little bit later in the agenda and we talk about the fleet study.
Okay.
But anybody have any questions on the solar?
No.
Okay, moving on, the Heat Smart program. We did receive the grant. Eversource has approved a $10,000 grant that we can use for marketing, promoting the Heat Smart program.
Okay.
So we're moving to gear up on that. And the purpose of the meeting, of being at the meeting, the selectmen last night was about the sustainability committee or commission and folding the energy into
Right.
that, and that was approved. And so that the intention is to hopefully get a bigger group together with varied interests that can work together. Get for that. I'm going to be meeting with Matt in the next couple of days or so about the details of the Heat Smart program, because we now got to move forward and start getting something. We're talking about, these like we did with the solar. Those involved in the solar had sort of presentations, like 6 o'clock at night or 7 o'clock in the evening, at the Bethel. At the town hall, the general purpose room there, and people come in who had one of the libraries. So we're talking about starting off with that first. We've got partners in that program with Eversource. One of Eversource's energy efficiency partners is going to be playing a role. We have Dandelion heat pumps, ground source pumps that's going to be participating. And we believe we have an air source heat pump entity that's going to be participating, and a couple other folks. And there's an opportunity probably for some more financing available too, revenues available. The intention is for the program to kick off and officially start on January 1. We may have some sort of informal sessions before then. But that's what we're looking at. We need to get all that organized and put together and launched and get going. And we still got to get some paperwork from the town, from their side, to be involved. So that's moving along. And hopefully we'll be okay. And it's in that context of the overall sustainability commission that talked about, and I brought up that the fleet study. that we want to do. And Peter's given us a proposal. And if that proposal is still good, I want to take that to,
I have an update.
well, yeah, send me the update, because I want to take it and start pushing it now to get it done, because it is now of interest.
No need. It's done. It's been blessed. I met with Matt last week,
Oh, did you? Great.
spent an hour with him. Really mostly complaining about the fire commission and how we were thrown to the wolves, and
Yeah.
how that the whole fleet study was kind of driving the fire commission. And if I needed to step down, explain to me what the conflict of interest was. And he explained to me that it was purely financial. And I said, I'm confused, because originally I had offered to do this gratis, and I was told that I couldn't. That offer still stands, but I think what's better than me just doing something for free is to work with the town using existing resources and personnel, and empower the town to do its own fleet study.
How did that go? Okay.
So needs some kind of internal memo. I mean, we discussed everything. So Eric is the public works guy, I
Yeah.
guess, right? So Eric's already been charged by Matt to start capturing all town assets in the financial system software package that the town uses. And I told him I'd work with Eric, get a list of information that needs to go in there. I said, because the idea that the chief or the police chief can come in and say, we need new cars, I said, it's downright ludicrous.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, every vehicle and everything that's purchased by the town has to come out of town hall based on data, not the need, or we feel we need a new chief's vehicle. So I took that to task, because I was looking at the town fleet and their ideas. They've got a 2012 chief's vehicle, and the idea is they're going to keep it for another 12 or 13 years. So just the down and dirty math of it, the town, between 2012 and 2021, the Ford F-150 has increased in efficiency, and we're losing $1,300 a year just in fuel costs.
Oh, yeah.
By keeping the older truck. I said, so Matt, if you extrapolate that out for another 12 years and assume they're only going to get more fuel efficient, you've got a new vehicle waiting for you just there if you plot it out. And the idea that you're even thinking of keeping vehicles for 25 years is crazy.
Yeah.
So he's ready to go. We agreed that we had to wait till the election, but some kind of, meeting. It could just be me, Eric, and Matt saying, Eric, Peter's going to help you. We're going to do this for the town, and we'll get to work on it.
That's very good.
I did see one thing that came out of my conversation with Matt. I said it's downright bizarre to me that I can go on to the Connecticut State website and see that every town bids out their Hearst extraction tools except Bethel. I said, why?
Yeah.
I said, why wouldn't you bid out everything?
Yeah.
So a memo came out today to the fire commission saying nothing gets purchased without a bid. And if it's over 50,000, it's got to be a whole formal process.
Well, that's the reason, because last night at the meeting, where Chris McCullum was talking about uniforms and stuff like that, or equipment, for the firefighters,
Right.
that it's, they say get bids from 2 providers, but bring in
Well,
bids with prices,
right. Well, the idea that there's one fire apparatus supplier in Connecticut and it's the only one we deal with is bizarre. Because I said to Matt, I said, listen, maybe there's a discount through state legislature that if you use an in-state vendor, blah, blah, blah. But Poughkeepsie, New Jersey, Massachusetts, if
Yeah.
the Hearst tool is the Hearst tool, come on, let's
Yeah,
save some
yeah.
money.
Yeah. Well, that's very
So,
good. Because he made a point of that about everything has to come in on a bid, bidding.
right. And what the fire commission is experiencing is the 2 chiefs every month come out with their list of what they need.
Yeah.
And I get it, and the fire commission gets a letter from the dealer saying your equipment's old, or you should replace it. Give me a letter from the manufacturer, not the guy who's going to sell it to me.
He might have a conflict of interest.
I think there are huge conflicts of interest going on. Just, yeah, it's a strange dance in volley land.
Well, that's very good because all that can work under the new sustainability committee. Because we have
Absolutely.
not only the fleet, but we also have the school board looking at getting their
Right.
school bus
I
company.
mean, I said to Matt, honestly, listen, I may never have a fire, but I'd like the guys to respond to my house, not knowing, oh, he's the guy who said no new fire truck. I said, so take the personal relationships out of it and make it come from you and this building.
Yeah.
Based on data.
Yeah. Very
So,
good.
yeah, so that should start happening. We can push it out of the sustainability, recommendations like we do here, and take it.
Well, do you know somebody else that would be, interested in a fleet study that's not, associated with the energy committee?
Well,
in town.
The thing about it is Eric is smart enough to do it. It's just Matt has to, or the town has to give him very simply a data repository to collect everything for a few months. And then I'm happy to come in, and as part of the sustainability committee, we can review the fleet data and we can make recommendations to Eric, and then Eric, as the DPW administrator, can bring him to the selectmen if he needs the money in finance.
One of the things that the difference, we're a committee, a commission has more authority. So that's why I'm looking at a sustainability commission. So, we begin to get that and put these things under, then we get more oomph and being able.
But again, I don't think there's a need, given how small the fleet is. The only thing that I explained to Matt is you got to understand, there's a lot of dead vehicles hidden in this town, and there's one sitting at the main gate of the landfill. And you know what? Someone said something, because in the past 2 weeks since I've been at the landfill, someone started that old beast and turned it around. But you get rid of the low-hanging fruit and everything, and it's really setting, the standards for procurement. It's basic procurement. And I said, Matt, whether you're buying pencils, copiers, or trucks, it's the basic rules of procurement. If there's a resale value, you get rid of it as when it's the highest.
Yeah.
So we can get bids, but I'm not looking to get paid for it. So we worked that one out, that I would help the town provide
that's
guidance.
good. Yeah,
And if he wanted to, if he needed for legal reasons, you could give me a contract for $1.
yeah. No, I think what you know, if we get a commission, gets more authority to do these kinds of things, and that's why I'm thinking about, you know, it has a little more weight in terms of saying, okay, let's get, you know, this together and
But
let's,
Eric is more than capable of,
Yeah.
of doing it. It's a quest. The biggest issue in any of these things are the painful findings.
yeah. Okay.
And who has to swallow the medicine and who's going to scream the loudest when all of a sudden the town loses 10 vehicles.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Okay, well, that's good. I wish I would have known that before the meeting last night.
no, yeah, I was waiting for this. I wanted to update it on the record.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it very much. I appreciate it. But yeah, I can, you know,
We
poke
also,
that in.
so what I'm going to push if we're part of the Sustainability Commission is a weird conversation I have is that the town really has no control over the big ugly diesel buses that run through here.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's because it's more of not ignorance, ignoring the situation. Matt says they used to have a voice at the table. But after COVID, since COVID and Zoom, the meetings are going down, the towns aren't getting involved, you know, because that's probably the biggest polluter coming through that we can control in town, with electrification and
Yeah,
worst case, just shrinking the buses because they're running around empty because the federal government paid for them.
yeah. Okay. No, that's very good.
Yeah.
Very good, because the Heat Smart is a separate type of initiative than obviously than solar or energy efficiency or whatever like that. You know, it's more of a reduction of greenhouse gases and,
Yep.
you know, from a sustainability standpoint. Yeah, you can get a little bit of energy savings. I mean, energy cost reduction possibly, depending upon what the price of oil and gas do and that kind of a thing versus electricity. But that's mainly a greenhouse gas remover type of thing. So that fits under the sustainability issue. Solar renewable energy, that's another sustainable thing. The vehicles, that's another.
And as you mentioned, the chargers, my God, the town is losing a lot of revenue because the amount of, I told Matt, the amount of Teslas and EVs that I'm seeing in town on Saturday and Sunday mornings for breakfast and lunch, nowhere to charge. And if the town could just pick up pennies on all of those chargers, people would stay longer because they could charge, they could go shopping a little longer, spend more money.
Yeah. No, that's very true. And there are, I think, Next Era, which you may not be familiar with them, but they're the big utility out of Florida. They operate nationally, but they have a program where they will install the solar charging stations, operate them and run them and pay for it. And, you know, and you can lease them the space to put those chargers, you know, that kind of a thing.
I mean, I think that's probably, I mean, you know, I guess we're talking about putting a lot of this on private property too. Who owns the parking lot over where the charger is now? Is that a town lot? The old train
The
station?
garage, the train station.
Yeah, the old, yeah.
Yeah, that's town. Isn't it, Kathy? That's town. Yeah, that's town owned.
Because certainly the problem with that parking lot is it's a disaster to get in and out.
Yeah.
Especially on the weekends when Broken Symmetry's jamming.
Yeah.
But the ingress and egress is horrible around Bethel Glass. But that could be a great solution there because that's probably where I'm seeing the most Teslas there, and Notch and in front of Note.
Well,
Um,
just any place that within reasonable walking distance that they are, it can be, because you have,
Yep,
um, yeah, and then that could work there, that they can charge and stuff. Okay,
And then the other thing we can bring in as a small revenue generator, but also keeping the whole EV vibe, is do a bike program.
yeah, there was quite a bit of publicity on that on TV and the other day.
Yeah, I mean, it's something. They'll come in, they'll drop a dozen bikes for
Yeah.
6 months down by the train station.
You gotta have people
And-
willing to ride them. So,
And the bigger thing is, as long as they, have a van that goes around in the middle of the night, picking them up all over the place. That's the funny, yeah, you see these guys just pulling bikes all over California like that. So,
alrighty.
okay,
No, that's good. That gives me some more fodder for the meeting with Matt, and and get him to moving up the sustainability committee. But that was a commission, but that's the big thing, is it was approved by the
Good.
selectmen.
so they're just gonna absorb us?
Well, that's the intent, is become a subcommittee of that, sustainability commission. So our focus would be on what energy pieces, and obviously be able to work with other entities within the sustainability.
And the commissioner of the commission is appointed?
I don't know how it probably by the selectmen, like the commissions on,
Well, because the police commission's elected, right?
well, police commission is, yeah, and it might be elected, I don't know, but I mean, we get it up and going, and that's the good thing.
Yep,
Yeah.
okay.
Alrighty. No, I think it's very good, and I appreciate it very much, and help us get this thing going and off ground.
Yep.
All right, any other things? Fern, you have anything you want to talk about particularly?
Let's see, what do we want to talk about? No,
Okay.
thank you.
You need a heat pump on your house? How do you heat and cool your house?
Yeah,
I do, but the grant probably only covers 1/10 of the cost.
Well, there's supposed to be other ways to get it done, like the solar.
Yeah, no, years ago, there was a famous explosion in Midtown, Dr. Boom. The doctor blew up the townhouse, it just collapsed. And when they rebuilt it, they did it all with geothermal,
Yeah.
straight down.
Yeah.
It was insane what it cost 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, I think it's probably come down a little bit, but
how much do those things cost for a
I don't know.
house?
We're gonna be finding out. It depends upon the size.
My guess is it's got to be at least the cost of a boiler and the labor to dig a big hole.
Well, no, they don't dig them by hole. They have drills that will drill down and put them in, but also you have air source heat pumps where you don't put them there, so there's different ones. But Dandelion, that company that's going to be in it, they said that they have 500 customers in Bethel already. So I don't know if they're all installed yet, but that's they
500 Bethelites have hit their website.
no, they said this is
Wow, interesting.
yeah, so it's
Well, there's a lot of people that are tired of spending money for oil, that's for sure.
yeah, and heat pumps are more energy efficient than normal air conditioner, for example,
Yeah,
and the way they do it. But it is supposed to be a cost savings, but that's one of the things that's going to come out with these sessions, is these kinds of questions, and they can tell you what it is, depending upon what type of system you have in the house, or heating and cooling. If you have a baseboard hot water system, it may be one way than if you have a furnace with a central air fan type thing. I mean, it depends upon the house and whatever, or the nature of the heating and cooling system that you have. So, but hopefully we'll get that up and moving and be on the way there. So, anything else?
Nope.
Okay, Kathy, you got anything?
Kathy's got enough.
We'll have a motion to adjourn.
Motion made.
Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
enjoy. Don't eat too much turkey.
Enjoy.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy.